Blue Lock Season 2 was disappointing. Now, before everyone goes to the comments saying, oh, this guy didn't watch the last two episodes, I did. And yes, I thought these two episodes were amazing, and I thought they were the best the Blue Lock anime has ever been. But that does not excuse how underwhelming the majority of the rest of the season was. And keep in mind, this is my favorite Blue Lock arc from the manga. I absolutely love reading this arc. This is what got me to truly see what this series had and all the potential it had. But due to a subpar adaptation, a lot of what made this arc so hyped did not translate well. Now, there's obviously a lot of production issues this season, and it's not the animators to blame for it. From what I saw everywhere, what they had going on was that they were given an unrealistic deadline for the season to be released, which led to being unpolished and rushed. And I think it's mainly just due to the fact that we had the release of episode Nagi, the movie, which came out 4-ish months before this season, which is an insane timeline. Meaning a lot of money and time was put into that film, and the film was actually really good. I think they had really good animation, and it made some very non-interesting moments from that little arc, I guess, really good because the animation was so good. And it's why Season 2 seems so lackluster, because we know the potential that this studio can put out, but it just didn't live up to it. And yes, this is a movie, but look at the latest part of Bleach. Every episode has been movie quality. Like, seeing a moment of bad animation is rare, and even the CGI they use in that is actually pretty good because there's actually, like, care put into it, and they try to make it look better. It's simply due to the fact that the studio was given time and just allow the animators to do their jobs and allowing them to put out their best product, which doesn't seem to be the case of what happened in Season 2. This is abundantly clear in the first 5 episodes of the season. Everything before the U20 match were so forgettable, and it's disappointing because a lot of the content in those little preliminary matches are good, but the animation was just arguably the worst that's ever been in the series, and literally lived up to the name that was going around, Slideshow Lock, because that's literally what it was. In the manga, these matches were pretty good, and it was literally just moving PNGs and was just not enjoyable to watch and not a good start to the season. Like, I could have taken the same photo and slowly panned the camera and would have gotten the same result if I just dubbed it over myself. Now, on to the highlight of the season. The U20 match did have a lot of positives, though, especially all the big hype moments. They were executed very well, like Baro's goal, Shido's goal, a lot of the stuff with, obviously, Nagi, Rin, and Sai, Aiku, but it was what was in between it. It was like night and day in some cases with the animation, and it took me and I think many people out of the experience. The excessive use of CGI, and not good CGI at that, really took away any momentum in this match, which really, in the manga, was just constantly moving, rapid, and just so hype. Comparing this to the anime, when you have hype moments and then you go back to really bad CGI, it kind of just takes you out of the experience. And instead of focusing on what's going on, I was just thinking to myself, ooh, that looks very no bueno, that is just not good. And I'm just distracted, and I can't stop thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, this is just disappointing here. Like, when you see them using the stupid CGI statues to show a play like 30 times, they got redundant and just looked so dumb every single time. Now, I wouldn't say the season was horrible. It had a lot of highs, actually, and like some of the best it's ever been. But then it just had too many lows that took away from the hype train that the U20 match is. And one advantage the anime did have over the manga, which obviously is out of the manga's control because it's something you read, and that was the atmosphere. Actually hearing the crowd made the game feel so much more alive. And the manga was able to convey this with reaction panels, but actually hearing the crowd erupt with each play really elevated so many moments, because up until now, there's been no crowd in Blue Lock. It's just been a bland gray wall, but this really made it feel like what the series is trying to go towards in the manga with the U20 World Cup. Like, it elevated so many moments, like Isagi's game-winning goal. That whole moment was just amazing. The crowd absolutely exploding. And it just really did a good job with that scene. And they also did justice, like I said, Sagi's goal. The Feral Rin versus Sai with that whole animation change was so sick. Bachira's little square up, his insane dribbling moment. It was either the second last episode or the last episode, but it was so good. That is how crisp the animation should be in a soccer anime, because that's what makes it cool and keeps you engaged. But that it was so crisp, there was no CGI for the most part, and it just made that moment even more hype because it was executed properly. And I hope Season 3, they give the studio more time to make the product, because now we know what they can do. We saw how good the finale was and how it needs to have the Blue Lock anime live up to its potential, and it just needs to be more consistent. Just the hype moments can't be the only things that have good animation. The entire product needs to be more consistent and complete in order to keep people immersed into it, instead of the immersion being broken by seeing goofy looking Asagi running in CGI. It just breaks everything and leaves a sour taste. But overall, the season was disappointing in many ways, but the latter half of the season did have some very, very good moments and the best the series has ever been. And I think the last 2 episodes show perfectly just how good this series can be in an anime format, because the manga has amazing art, and I think the pacing in it is really good. And it is hard to convey these long explanations into an anime format. In the manga, it's just a page you read, but that does kind of take away with it, but I think they could find a way around that by actually having people move while they talk, even if it's in slow motion, not just them standing there. But overall, disappointing, but did have a lot of good moments.